Gumbo, a lot of people just like, what is Nike doing talking about food for this collection? Gumbo really is just a metaphor for the culture of New Orleans. New Orleans culture is actually a mix, and that's kind of where the word gumbo came from. And we saw that as a really cool vehicle for us to put together different graphics and patterns and stuff to tell our own story. Kobe really focused on, you know, I think his line this year for the 9 really focused on this idea of being inspired by masters in their own right, you know. So with this one, we wanted to focus on how jazz really had its lineage coming from New Orleans. The KD, so him being, you know, the illusionist, you know, I think KD as a player, we like to draw parallels a little bit in terms of their playing style and to inspire the story. So a lot of these kind of illustrations almost embody like his dynamic movement and all that stuff that happened on the shoe. So that's how we kind of built up the textures and all that. With LeBron, you know, he's represented often as with the lion. You know, you kind of have that lace lock here. So you know, that's kind of King of the Jungle. What we wanted to do was do a parallel with King of the Bayou, and that's most obviously the gator.
And for those who want the gumbo accent on their shoes but don't necessarily want these, they can also ID them.
Yeah. A great thing that Nike ID did this year is, you know, they're not offering the same options that we did here, but they're opening up their entire history of different options.
When we first started line planning and coming up with the initial concept, we just said, you know, this city is rich in history, tradition, and people. And we really wanted for each one of the shoes to kind of exemplify that. So when you think of like a lobster, and the whole concept for this one was to use like a KAREEM, kind of like almost like a wet kind of water look to kind of give you that essence of that steam. We also looked at you know, the traditional quilts that you would find in New Orleans. It's all about the mixture of materials that can be stitched together, done by a family and then passed on to different generations. So what we're trying to do here is we kind of mix some of our Nike's best, most iconic prints. New Orleans and the whole bayou and the swamps. There's a whole lifestyle and culture, and people feed off of the natural kind of aspect of their environment. They hunt for food, they go to the swamps, and they use alligators to make a living. Here is the Nike Skystepper 2K3, inspired by the 2K3 kind of shoe from performance back in the day, but done more in a lifestyle zone. This sleek silhouette we thought was nice to kind of accentuate with this spike texture. I think is really kind of an interesting detail. And it plays back to that whole idea of Crocs.
Asking everybody around here, what's your most memorable All-Star moment in regards to shoes? When you growing up watching All-Star?
The players. AI, Kobe, T-Mac, KG in his prime, you know, Shaq. So many guys, MJ. Every year, All-Star game has some crazy shoes. My most memorable one has to be Vince in Oakland when he wore the, were they Air Ones, I think? Might have been Air Ones, one of those two. He wore Air Ones, that was probably what I remember the most. And Jordan, his last All-Star game. A lot of guys that wore different shoes, man. It's too many.
What about of yourself? I know you played in the horse competitions and stuff like that. What's your most memorable shoe that you wore?
Three-point contest when I played in Year of the Dragons and in I want to say the Cool Grade KD4s. So I wore 2 different shoes in the three-point contest, and it stood out a little bit. I forgot what year this was when Jordan played. I want to say San Antonio, and he had on the 11. Gotta go with that. All-Star game. GP wore his Gary Payton. I forgot which one, but it was the gloves. He wore the gloves in the All-Star game. Gotta go with those.
What about your All-Star moment in the glow-in-the-dark Flight 1s? Like, how was that special to you?
Oh, that was, yeah, that was real special. Nobody really seen him at the time. You know, them was the shoe that was just coming out. You know, for me to be able to do that and the dunk that I was doing, you know, the glow-in-the-dark, and I had him on my feet, and that was special. And Penny being somebody I looked up to, so, you know, it was only right. I felt like everything, you know, really played into it, you know, for that night.
That'd probably be my biggest one, you know what I mean? T-Mac, like that's somebody I seen play at Mount Zion when I was younger and had the opportunity to see, and he was like a big star when he was with Adidas, and he had it going and rocking, so I'll probably say that when he wore the mismatch shoes and did whatever he wanted to add his own flavor.
What's your favorite Adidas to wear often?
My favorite Adidas wear off the court is probably the shell toes, the high top ones, the Pro Mod. The high top ones I like the Big Sean shoe. But I'm very excited to see what the Kanye is gonna look like whenever he get his shoe done. But you know, he does a great job with style and designing his own shoes. So I'm ready to see what he can put together with Adidas.
We spoke with a few players that wear the 28 SC on court, and they say that the 28 and the 28 SE is essentially the same shoe. What do you think about that?
Well, they have the same tooling, they have the same plate and a similar outsole, so there are some similarities there. And by the way, when you go out and buy a new car, what's different about one car 1 year and the same car 2 or 3 years later?
Right, they don't change. That's true.
It's the top part, right?
Right.
So I think what we're learning is that when we put so much time and effort into performance, chassis design, if you were, like a car, you don't just throw it out anymore. And we don't really want to change it out until we do something that's better. We are following in the footsteps of the way automobiles and motorcycles are designed, where they don't change some of the parts all the time because they know they work. We'll continue to refine this technology.
A little bit of what you do is always the future, but you have one project that really sort of looked out into the future when you built a shoe for Marty McFly.
Oh, Back to the Future.
Back
to the Future too. Usually when we design sneakers, it's maybe we're 2 or 3 years out, but this project was basically 25 years out. And so I had to stretch my brain a little bit to think about what sneakers would be like in the year 2015, 25 years ago. Which begs the question, are we all going to see power laces in the year 2015? And to that I say yes. Not a whole lot of them.
I never thought anything about me would be very popular at this point in my life, since I'm 25 years since I retired. So the fact that people still acknowledge me is really an honor, and it's, I'm very proud of it.
Do you still play today?
No, I don't play. Sometimes I teach, like Joakim Noah. Right. He came to me 2 summers ago. Okay. He said, Kareem, I need to learn a few things. So I worked with Joakim, and it really helped his game last year. You saw how he improved his stats, especially on the offensive end.
All right, now what's your favorite part of the All-Star Weekend, man? You've been here 10 times. What's your favorite part of the week?
I think just being around the other great athletes, man. You know, being around the other guys. It's like a dream. You know, you be around, make your own all-star team. It's like a video game where you can put people on your team and who you want to play with and who you don't want to play with. So, to have an opportunity to be on the same team with Paul George and Melo and Kyrie Irving. And, obviously my 2 teammates coming from Miami, CB and D-Wade, man, I think it's great.
Yeah. So tell us, what's your favorite part about the city? You like places
the
like
food.
The food.
The food.
What's your dish when you come?
Gumbo. I love some gumbo, man.
Y'all like gumbo? Give up the gumbo one time.
The food in New Orleans is spectacular, man.
Wait, tell me about the vibrant Wade 2s that you were wearing.
One with a different color than I put out. Just me always trying to keep it fresh, keep it cool, and have fun as well. So it's an all-star game, man. You get to do something cool. So I decided just inspired by the colors I liked. Opportunity to sit down and pick different colors, and I just liked the combination. I thought it would look good, with the bright lights All-Star Weekend.
Real right now.
Yeah, it's great to have one of my best friends, but a guy who, in my brand for a while. Being able to sign certain guys. As I continue to grow it, we want to continue to grow the brand where it's respectable, and you got to have guys and people believe in it. And Darrell, Will Bynum, and Udonis are 3 of the guys who started with that first belief, and hopefully we go from there.
So, Craig, what shoes did you notice out there? Who had the loudest shoes out there?
Well, you notice this is one chance they can wear whatever they want. They don't have to match their home uniform. So I like the colors, like all the stuff that they had that was kind of indigenous to New Orleans, with the gold and also the purple and the green and all. But the one that I really liked the most was Dwight Howard.
Why is that?
Well, because it was purple with black.
Right.
And I looked down and I go, man, that would go so perfect with this coat.
Right.
Instead, I got these crocodiles in New Orleans. So you look at them, they look at you. You got the eyeball right there.
Right.
So I thought this was pretty good. But when I saw Dwight Howard's, I said, man, I should have those.
You needed.
They may be a little big for me, though.